What built empires wasn't just wealth, it was labor. It was never paid for. Before the factories rose, before industrial power reshaped the world, there were people working, producing, enduring. Hands that built systems, but never shared in what they created. Lives that generated wealth, were never allowed to keep it. Bloodline walkers, people who built the West. Across plantations, across mines, across expanding colonial territories, labor was extracted at scale. Millions worked under systems that were not designed to reward them, but to use them. Fields of cotton, sugar plantations, rubber extraction, mining operations. These were not small operations. They were engines of production, and those engines ran on forced labor. This labor did more than produce goods. It reduced cost. When labor is unpaid, everything becomes cheaper to produce. Cheaper goods meant higher profits. Higher profits meant expansion, and expansion meant more demand for labor. The system fed itself, not through innovation alone, but through exploitation. The raw materials produced through this labor did not stay where they were created. They moved across oceans, into factories, into industries. Cotton became textiles. Rubber became industrial material. Resources became infrastructure. And as industries grew, so did the need for more labor. Not paid labor, but controlled labor. But there was something else that did not appear in ledgers. The cost of labor was not only economic, it was human. Families separated, communities disrupted, generations reshaped. Time that could have built futures, spent sustaining systems that gave nothing back. Knowledge was not passed down, it was interrupted. Stability was not built, it was taken out. And while the system counted profit, it did not count loss, because some costs were never meant to be measured. To maintain this level of production, control was essential. Laws were created, movements were restricted, systems were enforced. Because if labor became free, the system would slow. And if the system slowed, profits would fall. So labor remained controlled, not by accident, but by design. Over time, this created a divide. Some regions industrialized, others remained locked in production. Some accumulated wealth, others generated it, without keeping it. And this pattern did not disappear. It evolved to global supply chains, into labor markets, to economic positioning. The world did not reset, it continued. On the same foundation, because empires were not only built on land or resources, they were built on labor. Labor that powered economies, but never received its share. So the question is, if labor created wealth, who was it really built for? If this truth awakened you, walk with us. Subscribe to Bloodline Walkers.